I've been wearing handmade boots since, goodness, I think I bought my first pair of Wescos when I was 19. Fast forward to today, still going strong, my Knicks Hot Shots. Speaking of Knicks, I want to show you something. Welcome back, friends, to the shop. I've got some good news for you guys. One of you, it could be you, is going to win a brand new pair of handmade Knicks boots today. What are you going to choose? You're going to choose a low top, maybe a urban logger, or are you going to go whole hog with a pair of Wildland Hot Shot boots? My friends over at Knicks, those of you who have been with the channel for a long time will remember we were invited, this was years and years ago, back when the channel was really small, by the Knicks factory to come down and take a look at their boots. And they made they made these boots for me right here, which I've had, 5 fire seasons on them now. Well, they recently reached out and said, hey, we hadn't heard from you for a while. How are you looking for boots? Could we make you a pair of boots? And I said, well, since you asked, how about 2? And they said, what do you want? And I said, I want a pair of shoes and I want a pair of lightweight boots that are just not so hardcore as these. I'm not on a fire ground all the time. And I also, you gotta strike while the iron's hot, I also want you to make a pair for one of my subscribers. And they said, one better, not only will we make a pair for them, we'll make them exactly how they want them. They can choose the sole, they can choose the leather, they can choose anything that they want, and I've got a second and third prize. Let's go take a look at their boots. I'm gonna share a little bit of the history of the logging boots from the Pacific Northwest, and more importantly, why in the world do they have these crazy tall heels on them? If you'd like to throw your hat in the ring for a pair of shoes, all you've got to do right now is to like and to comment. Go ahead and do that, and I'm going to put you in a randomizer, and one of you will be selected tomorrow morning, and I'll announce it on the page. Now, for you East Coast guys that are going to try to game the system and comment multiple times, I want to warn you that if you do comment multiple times, your comment will be thrown out and you will not be eligible. So I've already thought that. I may not be smart, but I'm not a fool. There's a Latin term that comes to mind when I look at this, and it's res ipsa locutor, which translates, the thing speaks for itself. I'm not making this video to try to sell you a pair of boots, but just to make you aware that there's something out there that's special and that you can own, right? And you can have. And on a side note, you know, maybe it's time, you know, it took me a long time, if you're in your 40s and 50s, to start dressing like a man, to start getting a little bit of respect back and not just being so casual in your life. You know, there's something inherently important, I think, about maintaining some standards and being an example to those around us. Wouldn't hurt any of us to clean up our image a little bit, right? And this is a good place to start. Shoes, I've always, even when I didn't have money, I always made shoes a priority because I knew I was either in them or I was in my bed, right? So let's get to my boots. So the first pair that I chose was Knicks. This is their Urban Logger. Now don't let the name scare you. There's nothing urban about this boot. This is a full-fledged serious boot. This is built on the same very similar platform as the smoke jumper, right? And that's the heaviest boot as a guy can get. What I found was I don't always want to deal with all this weight. You know, I want something that's a little bit more athletic from time to time, and that's where I went with these. A little bit less to lace up, a little bit easier to come in the house, and I'll tell you what, in the brown, this is brown cow's hide, I don't know that you can get a finer looking boot with a classic American jean. These are boots you're going to have for the rest of your life, friends. They're absolutely beautiful. You won't believe it until you see them and get your hands on them. But that's what I was going for, was a lightweight version of the smoke jumper boot. And this, I thought this was going to be my favorite until I got the loafers. I'm going to grab one of those. Now, these are they the Manitus? These I had them make in, is it Cordoba? Cordova, which is horsehide, and specifically the horsehide on the rump of the horse. This Cordoba is considered to be probably the most sought after and the most expensive leather that you can get. It's very desirable because of its toughness, and it doesn't have a tendency to crease because of the way the cells are in it. It's very expensive, and only the finest shoes are made out of it. Now, you're not going to get Cordoba leather. I'm sorry to say. It's not even available, I believe, at the Knicks, but they had a little bit on hand, and they brought it up, and I said, absolutely, that's my favorite leather, and they did this for me. What can I say? Having a YouTube channel, I mean, it comes with perks. It is what it is, right? But you can have your choice of the vegetable tan leather, all the other stuff, lots and lots of choices. 99 out of 100 people wouldn't even know the difference, but that's what these are. That's why they look so pretty. But that is, man, this is no sissy boy Oxford here. This is a man shoe. This is the shoe, very similar to the shoe that my granddad wore. I remember, I've said this before, I remember him coming home from work. He worked as a mechanic, and his shoes were all greasy, and he didn't want to track it in the house. He'd sit down on the stoop and untie his shoes and put on his house shoes, and he had something very similar to this. But man, is that not a beautiful shoe? And if you think this Urban Logger looks good with a pair of jeans, well, this looks even better. I mean, they are fabulous. I can't wear these out without getting lots and lots of comments. They just are so classic and so striking. Why do these logging boots, or this style of boot, have these big heels on it? Interesting thing, some of the biggest players in the boot industry came out of logging camps. They were single cobblers. Cobbler's a shoemaker that started making boots in the logging camps in the Pacific Northwest. Whites, Westco, Danner, all those, that was their last name, and those have turned into big multi-million-dollar companies, right? Well, the reason for that is they were logging in the mountains, and that heel prevents you from slipping when you're going down the hill. If you don't live in the mountains in really rough, rocky, steep country, you won't realize this. That's why a lot of folks don't understand why there's this big heel on there. I was on a fire years ago with a guy that had some flat-soled boots. I don't know where he got them. It was something from the Midwest, and he was down, down, down. I watched him fall down 100 times that day as we were working on really steep ground doing a hose lay. So that's the reason. Cowboy boots, similar. It's so that the boot doesn't slip through the stirrup. That it stops right here, and that was kind of the design. So it's kind of a, I don't know, maybe a regional thing. I don't know. But that's the way why they were designed there. All right, you ready to see what the next prizes are? If you don't win the boots, the second prize winner has a really nice gift as well. And the folks at Knicks are going to send these out to you. Now, I got my own. I guess I got all three gifts myself because I needed to show you guys. But that's the way it is. Second prize is going to be a Knicks a solid 2-inch leather belt with a solid brass buckle. This is a very nice belt. I wore it around for a week or so. This would be a good gun belt for those of you guys at CCW. Here's another fun fact. Do you know why the military always has brass buckles and brass buttons on their uniforms? Do you know why? It's non-ferrous. It's non-magnetic, and it won't affect your compass. So back in the day, you know, when the officer, you know, you would always have your compass right here. You couldn't risk having the needle pulled around by something that was magnetized or steel. So that's the reason why uniforms are always brass. You should never own a brown belt or belt that doesn't have a brass buckle. That's just classic. If you wear a brown belt, you wear brown shoes. Don't mix black and brown. Just keep them the same. Third prize is also very nice, and it's a full boot repair kit, or not repair kit, maintenance kit, right here with some really, really nice products. Same products that I use right here. So there's going to be a nice cotton rag, a double pair of Knicks laces. You're going to get a beautiful applicating brush for your Obenoffs or whatever you want to put on there. 2 horsehair brushes and your saddle soap for cleaning and your leather balm, as well as a little sample of Obenoffs. So that will be a third prize. And all you got to do is comment. So make it happen. Wouldn't you like to have a new pair of boots? Now, when you're picking out your boots, if you go to their site, and I'll put a link down there in the bottom, you'll have lots of choices. You can choose different types of soles. You can choose a heavy lug. Like I put a heavy lug on a Vibram on my Urban Logger. But on this shoe, I didn't want something that was going to track mud. I want something a little bit subtle, but I also wanted to have a little bit of grip and traction. So you got lots of options, colors, sizes. It's limitless. All right. Good luck to you all. I will enter everyone who comments in this video in the randomizer, and I'll make the announcement tomorrow morning sometime before noon. So good luck and Godspeed. May God bless you and your families. Please keep us in your prayers, and we'll see you all on the next video.